consent agenda. Does anybody want any items pulled out of the consent agenda to be discussed? Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve items 1 through 7.
I'll second that.
If we could call for a vote at this time, please.
Lively.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Van Zant.
Yes.
Hopper.
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 8, the financial report.
Okay. My financials for September. Okay, the average daily census for the month was 11.63. That's down 2 days from August and up 2 days from the year-to-date monthly average. The acute payer mix for September is 68% for Medicare and Medicare managed care, with the prior month being 50%. The swing bed payer mix for September was 90% for Medicare and 1% for Medicare managed care. The year-to-date for Medicare is 78%, and the Medicare managed care is 21%. The operating margin is a loss of $12,000, which is down $54,000 from August. The year-to-date operating margin is a loss of $86,000. Net patient revenue was $1.58 million for the month, which is a decrease of $26,000 from last month and an increase of $123,000 from the year-to-date monthly average. 340B revenue was $23,000 for September, and expenses were at $17,000. Operating expenses were at $1.63 million for September, and that's up $48,000 from the prior month and $137,000 from the year-to-date monthly average. Patient days for September were at 349. That's down 70 days from August. Cash receipts for the month were at $1.84 million. That's an increase of $352,000 from the year-to-date monthly average and an increase of $566,000 from August. Cash disbursements were at $2.03 million. Cash balance at the September month end was $996,000, giving us about 18 days of cash on hand. And for the clinic, the average daily visits were 10.13. The year-to-date revenue for the clinic is $427,000. Operating expenses are at $671,000, with a year-to-date net loss of $244,000. But this is the first month in September that we had a positive clinic revenue, so, or EBITDA for the month, so that's exciting.
And how did that happen with 10 a day?
So we just got more payments. So we have the expenses came in less and the revenue came in more. So, yeah.
That's great.
Mhm.
Big improvement from this
Yeah.
time last year.
It
Is
in the
that
clinic.
excuse me, I apologize.
Sure.
Is that do we have like some massive decrease in a bill, or is this something that we could hope to expect
I
from
would
now
say-
on?
I think that it's just catching up. Like I mean, how many months now have we had? 10 plus,
Very routine, I mean, now,
right? So
for the past
I
2
mean,
months, 3 months, so I think it's finally just catching up. Everything's 3 months behind on payments from Medicare, Medicaid.
Right.
And you're 90 days out to get your payments. So I think our days being higher than 7 and 8 are finally catching up to us. Because, you know, our average daily census was 6 and 8, 3 to 6 months ago.
Mhm.
So now that we're running right around the 10 mark, 10 to 12, we're starting to see an increase in revenue.
Okay. Do we know what our average daily census needs to be to break even?
It depends on your payer mix. If it's Medicare, Medicaid, we have to have 18.
Okay.
But with your private pay, your self-pay, it goes down.
Okay. Will the current situation with the federal government, are we looking at a major hindrance in payments in the following months?
Haven't been so far.
Haven't so far, no.
Yeah.
I think that'll probably come in probably in the next year or so, in 2026, 2027 is when you're gonna see a little bit of the decrease in the clinics from Medicaid.
Carson, this is Dennis, if you can hear me, and
Yeah.
I'll try to help address a couple of these things. And Kelly is right. The biggest thing is your Medicare managed care payer mix, which has been really good. And for the clinic, we've had 51 swing beds visits for the current month on the rounding piece. So that also again, has been very helpful and helps to make the clinic more, get closer to a break-even bottom line. So it's been a combination, but the really key thing is it's all about payer mix. So for the clinic, the higher Medicare, Medicare, managed care, and Medicaid that we have, the better the clinic results are going to be. And for the critical access hospital piece, the better and higher for the Medicare managed care and Medicare that we have, especially in the swing bed, the better off we are going to be. And that's something that we can have control over, we can exercise control. The acute side, we cannot. Some of those come through the ER as well. So it's being in a position to control the things you can and minimize the ones you can't.
Does anybody else have any questions on the financial report?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, moving on to item number 9, discussion and possible action to allow employees of Cohesive to have a $0 copay for services received at the hospital and clinic.
Yep. Again, this is a proposal that Cohesive wants to do to kind of help our staff use our facilities. They are just wanting the board's approval to be able to do this. There's no agreement or anything, it's just we will no longer charge our employees a copay if they have services at our clinic or the hospital.
Now, is that regardless of where they get their insurance? Like, you know, if you have a nurse that's employed, but they have their spouse's insurance who's not employed by
Correct,
Cohesive?
yep, it's any employee.
You know, I'm under the impression that that's not a legal thing that you can do, because you're inducing somebody to come to your facility, and if you drop that copay, your charge should be dropped. I mean, that's the way the government sees it. So I would
Chief,
not
can
be
you
for
speak to that?
And can I just add?
Yes, under Cohesive's insurance, it is fully self-funded, and so because of that structure, employees of Cohesive can receive copay at $0. This was a recommendation by our agent.
But I guess,
This is effective January 1st, though. Is that correct, Chief?
That is correct, Dennis.
So the question was, if they do not have Cohesive's insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, if they have their husband's
Cigna,
health
Aetna.
choice or wife's health choice, is it effective for them too? Or is it just for people that have Cohesive insurance, our Blue Cross Blue Shield?
I'll default to Chief, but I wouldn't think that's applicable to I would think you have to be part of a self-funded thing, but I'll default to her. I'm not the attorney on that piece.
So does this cover people
Yes,
within the staffing company?
So this is applicable to employees under Cohesive insurance only.
Okay.
so here, this would be my question. I know there's regulations and things
Mhm.
about gifting,
Correct.
and would this fall under that? Because you're giving something.
Yeah, we don't have enough information. We don't know what the employees are paying, what their piece of it is, what their copay would be, but we're being asked to completely write it off. So without a lot more information and a way to recover that for the hospital in, you know, lesser fees for the staffing company or whatever, I mean, that needs to be spelled out, in my opinion.
Corey?
Because how this agenda item is written, I interpret it as all employees and not just
Right.
employees with a certain insurance package. Because, I mean, individual insurers may have a $0 copay, but that's up to you and the insurance company. Way back when, I used to have a $0 copay insurance.
Now you can't afford them.
So-
Now you can't
I
afford
don't even
them.
know what they are.
Wasn't this?
That was way back
Yeah, I
before
know.
the Affordable Care Act was passed, so. But, so, I think, I agree that I would recommend get more information to see what this looks like. Because I was also concerned about waiving the copay.
Okay,
Yeah,
we
is
can
there some
absolutely
kind
do
of
that.
proposal that we can review what that?
I didn't receive one, but we can, I'll get with Chi and see what we can put together for y'all.
Because I'd like to, I'm like them, I'd like things spelled out exactly what it is that we're allowing, like what would the provisions be, what would be allowed, what wouldn't be allowed? Like, is this for every service that the hospital offered? Is it for particular services?
According to the way this is written, yes.
So,
I mean, it could potentially be a big
It certainly
cost.
could, especially if
And-
you changed your deductible to a high deductible plan.
Yeah, because that's what I did.
well,
Mhm.
That's
and
what everybody has to do.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's the only way they can afford insurance now.
Yeah, I'd like
so
way
is
more
this,
information.
is this gonna be if you're a Cohesive employee or because my understanding is we have Cohesive employees and we also have Cohesive staffing.
Correct.
So is this for both?
They would have to have the cohesive insurance package. From what I understand, the staffing people have the option under circumstances. I don't know what all those circumstances are. I would be talking incorrectly if I did.
So I would be concerned that we're penalizing people that didn't choose to use the insurance that Cohesive was offering, and I think we can get into a bunch of,
We can't do it for those.
Yeah.
We cannot do it for those. Routinely waiving co-payments for hospital visits is illegal and can lead to legal and financial penalties for the provider. So we can't do it for somebody who has Blue Cross or Health Choice or whatever. We can't, or Medicare, we can't do it.
Corey, wasn't this also an issue with another company as well?
It was an
It
issue
is.
with all the
With-
past
with-
stuff.
I understand she's talking about a self-funded plan and that's different, but.
right. But I'm still, I mean, then we're almost penalizing some employees and not others, and I would just rather be fair across the board.
Well, you would be anyway, because anybody who has a spouse that provides their insurance and they chose to go to the Cohesive facilities wouldn't get it anyway. They would
Yeah.
only be getting it if they dropped their spouse's
Right.
plan and went with this one.
But we also pay a premium to our staffing agency to cover a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff. And right now, we're paying a lot for our staffing. And a part of paying more is to not have to cover some of these benefits. So can we, well, doesn't matter. But I'd like to make a motion that,
If you're not doing anything, you just take no action.
okay.
You don't have to make a motion to take no action.
Oh, cool, okay.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I would want to see
More.
much more information.
We can
And
do
I'd
that.
also
We can
want to
work on
make
that.
sure that there wasn't any legalities for us doing it. I don't want to set anybody up for, you know,
Including
fines,
ourselves.
penalties and all this.
Including
other-
ourselves.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, yeah, would really
Okay.
like to
Well,
stay.
I mean,
we can-
a lot of surgical suites got in trouble for, you know, you can have your surgery at OU Medical, but if you come to our surgical suite, we won't charge you the copay, and they got in big trouble.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving on to item number 10, discussion and possible action to approve the Oklahoma Foundation for Medical Quality work order for case review services.
So this is just our case review that OFMQ provides for us yearly, sorry. It is 12 charts that they review medical records every year, which is a condition of participation. We did have them last year and the year before that. Previous amount was $350 a month, and it's went up to $360 a month. And again, this provides a required service for us.
Is there anyone else that does this, or is this the only?
This is the best one to do with the state, and their state fund, they're through the Oklahoma Foundation of Quality. We could probably find other people from other states, but this is for our state. This is from Oklahoma.
They're experts in looking
Yep.
looking at what the
Yep.
payers are looking for on the charts and that sort of thing.
Exactly.
I would make a motion to approve that.
I'll second that.
If we could call for a vote at this time, please.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant.
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 11. Discussion possible action to approve Sysmex service agreement quotation for Beyond Care remote services.
This is just our yearly service agreement for our Sysmex hematology machine. What this does is unlimited troubleshooting, repair visits. They come out. If the machine breaks, they fix it. It's a one-time service. If it doesn't break, again, they do provide an update yearly. But if it doesn't break, then there's nothing. But they do our PMs, they do everything on it. The one thing that I want to tell y'all, it's went up $3,000.
Yeah.
So last year, it was at 9,000 already. We talked to them, said, hey, we were at 6,400 this past, or actually at 6,000 the previous year. What happened? We didn't require extra service, the machine didn't break, and they knocked it down to 6,400. We tried that again this year, and they wouldn't even get back with us. They're like, no, this is the cost this year. We're like, 7,500? Can we meet in the middle? We're a broke hospital. And they were like, no. They're like, it's 9,200.
Are they wanting you guys to get a new machine? Because I noticed that it says that yours is over 7 years old, and that
Ours-
adds an additional 10% to
Mhm.
said cost. So are they trying to force you into getting a new machine to
We would-
say if you did that, it would lower this by 10%?
It probably would, but we'd have to buy the machine outright. So, and the machine's right around, I think, what'd she tell us, 150, 200,000? So it's still cheaper to go this route right now. Until the machine is not end of life. So it is cheaper to continue to do this instead of buying a machine currently.
And
Yeah, I was
what's,
just wondering.
what's the typical life of?
Of this machine, probably 10 years, and it's at 7. But it literally gives us no trouble. None. And I'll say that, watch it break.
Well, now you just put that badge
I
up
know.
there.
It's a good piece of equipment. It really is. We don't have many issues with it. It does its own thing, and they come in and do their PM on it. But this is the only company that does do the preventative maintenance on this machine. We
So
could look
really, you
at,
don't have a choice, basically.
yeah, unless we buy a new machine from a different vendor. And then they'll give us a year, probably a 2-year service agreement, and then we'll be same place, buy another service agreement.
I guess I'm curious of what was different between last year and this year.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
We didn't have any
Nope.
difficulties different than the year before?
Nope, nothing. They just
Full
went up.
risk.
Again, we talked to them last year, they were willing to go down. This year, they were not.
And you said they didn't even return our call?
They didn't return, well, they returned our calls, and we're like, hey, what about this? And then they're like, yeah, well, no, we're done. So we finally got on a phone call with them. They said, no, the price is the price. I talked to my boss, we're not going down anymore. And so,
I'd like to make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
If we could call for a vote at this time, please?
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
No.
I know,
It
I get it, I just
irritates
think
me.
it's fun. I just,
It irritates me. I'm not gonna, just because they have the monopoly on it. doesn't mean
and they
we
do
should
on that
say
machine.
yes.
Yep, that's
Sort
the
of
only
like the
vendor.
trash folks.
Moving on to item number 12, discussion possible
PTSD.
action to approve the proposal for the OR renovation lab move project between ARC Architecture and LK Architecture.
Okay, as y'all know, to move our lab, we've had to get an architect involved. This is just the agreement, the proposals to get them involved. So ARC is who we've already used. They were our roof contractor, really great to work with. And they are higher, but everything's bundled. Keep that in mind. We, between them and LK. The same scope of work is gonna happen between the two companies. We're not changing, we're literally, you are coming in telling us where our power drop's gotta be, make sure we have the right amount of power. We're not changing any walls, moving any doors, but since we are moving electrical according to the state, we have to get an architect involved. So that's what we're doing. If the difference between the agreements, LK agreement does not have, it has a lot of excluded things in their service agreement. Now, Cohesive has used LK before, they're out of Wichita, Kansas, and they've had great success with them also. We have reached out to them. The guy I was dealing with, his name's Don, he's out of the country right now, to ask them, will you cap our expenses at 7,000 to meet what ARC is, because you're currently half. But it doesn't include travel, expenses. The 3,000 that LK is putting in there does not include any expenses. ARC's is all bundled into one. So that's your difference between the two.
Where do you,
And I'm sorry, maybe I'm missing it. Where is ARC's final number?
It's in,
Towards the bottom on page 4,
yep,
I believe.
Yeah, fees for services,
Yep.
page 3.
Page 3.
yep, page
The
3,
bottom?
page 57 of your packet.
Oh.
Yep,
The other thing is the markup. They're charging, if whatever travel expenses, they're charging a 15% markup.
they are charging a markup.
On
We
absolutely
discussed
everything. So it could wind up costing us way more than 7,000.
that. It could, you're absolutely correct. And we have asked, I sent that email last week when he was out of town, and I said, is there any way we can cap at 7,000 and just be
Has
done?
he answered that?
He said he was out of the country, but he would ask his bosses when he got back, and I have not received
When is he
anything
gonna be
back.
back?
He did not tell me when he was gonna be back. He just said, when I get back, I will ask my supervisors. Again, Cohesive dealt with LK, had good success with them, so you got two.
Are they typically under, I would ask Cohesive, are they typically under the,
Chi, Cindy, Dennis, do y'all know when they were doing the floor plans for the hospitals? Were they under the original bid?
I don't know off the top of my head, I'd have to look.
I
Chi, do you know?
wasn't involved in that, so I don't know.
No, I'm not sure of that either.
But you used ARC
For the roof,
for the roof, and
Yes,
you
sir.
were happy with.
absolutely, yep.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve ARC architecture.
I almost feel like we need the answer for,
From Don, from the other
Yeah.
guy.
I mean, I'd feel more comfortable knowing if they would say, yeah, this would be our max,
Yeah.
and we start at that. I mean,
do we feel like between now and,
See, I feel like anything that they're not gonna give you a max out. And that's just the way they operate. The other company's saying, hey, listen, we cap it at this. This is, I mean, they're just saying $7,000, we take care of it. The other
Right.
company is saying,
Well, and the other one has all this excluded stuff, so if they capped it at 7 and they had to do any of this excluded stuff, wouldn't that kind of void the cap? Because it says it's excluded unless you said
but if we,
you can't do any of this excluded stuff unless you're willing to take the 7,000 and add that in.
Yeah.
but if we've used them in other projects and they've come at or, you know, closer
Yeah.
to some of the others, then that would make more sense. I mean, I feel like I would want some more information, but, and,
do we have a second or no second?
I'll second it, because let's just face it, if you got in touch with him and he's out of the country, why can't he get in touch with his boss?
Yeah.
I mean, there's an email, yeah, okay. So we have a proposal and a second. At this time, if we can call for a vote.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes,
Webb.
no.
Moving on to item number 13.
I love it, I love it.
Discussion and possible action to approve the greatest of all time shredders service agreement for shredding services.
Okay, so if you look at, so currently we use Shred-it for our shredding services. And we put in here on the summary a breakdown between the hospital and the clinic of what Shred-it is costing us and what Goats is gonna cost us. We have used Shred-it for,
Sure.
oh my, since 15 years that I know of. But Goats is a new vendor that Cohesive's brought to the table. They're considerably cheaper. Monthly and yearly savings, you're looking at an annual savings for the hospital of $16,484 and an average annual savings at the clinic of $648.
so this says 17 for the hospital and 2 for the clinic. That's what, you're gonna put 17 shredders and
Shred bins.
shred bins in the
Shred
hospital
bins.
and 2 at the clinic?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, because that's currently what we have. So we're matching exactly what Shred-it has at the clinic.
how are
and the
they
hospital.
so much cheaper? I feel like, and this is just my thought, I feel like it's, since it's a new vendor, that they may not understand the impacts
Mhm.
of the situation. We end up getting ourselves in a situation where it's triple.
Yeah. So one of the things I will tell you, that the fee for bin, they are not Shred It charges us a surcharge based on the cost of each bin. For like fuel and transport, this is a $57 flat fee for each bin compared to
Well,
any surcharge.
But I do understand why they do that, because they've got to be able to
Absolutely.
be profitable, and that's my concern
So-
here.
No, my
Yeah,
apologies, you go ahead.
That's my concern, is that when I look at something this much less expensive and it's a startup, that really worries me.
I completely understand.
So what stops you guys from just going and buying $300 on a shredder? Is there a compliance issue?
Yeah, because you got to actually dispose of the shredded material.
Okay, so somebody,
They dispose.
Personally,
They
pers-
dispose it all.
Personally, I don't wanna pay someone to sit there and shred documents all day.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to throw.
Are massive shredders.
They dump it in, it shreds it right there, puts it in the bin behind.
okay.
And then they
So,
take it and dispose of that
do you want
material.
somebody with expertise in this field?
Do I know somebody?
No, do you want somebody with expertise, big
Absolutely,
shredders?
yeah.
You want somebody who just isn't a startup with a hand shredder, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And who owns this company?
I was not given, I just. was not
Is
given
anybody
that
in
information.
Cohesive own this company or employee of Cohesive own this company? Let's just get down to it,
I do not know the answer to that.
because I do, and so does Cheryl, and so does the rest of the board.
Oh,
Did you send it my way?
Chi, did you hear that question?
Yes, and I wanted to respond that a Cohesive employee does own that company. His name is Daniel Coffin.
Is Daniel Kaufman in charge of contract negotiations for us and reviewing of contracts for Cohesive in the board?
Yes, for certain
Okay.
contracts, such as products and equipment.
Chi, are you familiar of a situation that happened before with Tecumseh Medical Group, where I specifically asked that anytime Cohesive was involved, that we be notified? And especially, I would think that that would extend to employees and the person who was in charge of contract negotiations to oversee our contracts. And this business was just
Yes.
started in January of this year. And this person has no expertise with shredding that I'm familiar with. I think that I would
Yes.
like it, I would like on absolutely every vendor sheet from now on that is a new vendor, to it be disclosed to this board. If anybody, I want it actually physically checked that Cohesive does not own a controlling interest or an employee of Cohesive does not own an interest. My final thing would be is I think that we would like to know what all organizations that we currently have contracts with that employees of Cohesive or Cohesive owns that we have not been disclosed of at this time.
And guys, this seems deceptive to me.
It seems incredibly
It
deceptive.
gives that perception, whether it's intended that way or not, it gives off the perception that we are being deceived because there's no disclosure. And every other entity that has a vested interest in something puts a disclosure blurb somewhere that says, I have a vested interest in this company, be it 10%, 5%, 100%, doesn't matter. They've disclosed that they have that interest. And so it does appear deceptive. I'm not saying that that's your intent, but it does appear that way.
Especially since we've gone through this before and we were very, very explicit as a board that this mattered to us. And it was not disclosed, and there was no reason for this not to have been disclosed.
And this goes back to my original concern, which is this is a startup.
Yep.
And a business that's been doing this and actually serves quite a bit of Oklahoma. And I already made my comment with regards to,
Yeah.
you know, monopolies and all that other stuff.
Absolutely.
But there's something to be said for when you understand what goes into that business and what, because, yeah, this is maybe the idea of what they're going to, but is it a true expense? Or are we gonna end up having more expenses down the line and having to go back to the other because either this business fails because it can't maintain, or are we gonna be asked to supplement even more? But then is he also someone that reviewed this contract and developed this contract? I mean, what we know is this person reviews contracts. I don't know specific, that he was involved in this part of the process or not, and if he were, it should not have come to us.
Okay. I understand your concerns, I do.
I mean, this, like, we've been getting along great, trust has really been building, and it's like backslide, right back. And it raises a lot of alarms. Well,
We
I would,
absolutely apologize. It is not our intent at all. Daniel Coffin was not a part of the contract review. I was a part of it, and I apologize. We did not disclose that a Cohesive employee owned this company, but we can definitely start
before
putting the
next meeting, I
information
would
on the
like a
contract.
list of every single vendor that we do business with that Cohesive has a vested interest in, or an employee is a part owner or owner.
Yes, we can.
And I would like to go ahead and I would like to make a motion that we deny this request on item number 13. I make that motion.
Again, you just have to take no action.
No, I don't want to take no action. I literally want to vote no. That's my proposal. So I put a
You
motion.
can't
up-
move it negative, though.
Oh, you can't? Oh, okay. Okay. But dang, I'm
Glad Corey's here. God, I'm glad you're here.
Okay, moving on to item number 14, discussion possible action to terminate shredded services agreement for shredding services.
We did that one.
Yeah.
Go to the next one.
Yep.
I don't
Well, we
think-
can't take
No,
action.
we're not going to take no action on item number 14.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on to item number 15, discussion possible action to approve the proposal for Star Insurance Companies regarding the hospital's building insurance.
I make a motion that we approve this.
Okay.
Okay.
As y'all know, the city had lost their insurance on our building. Star is the new vendor that Wichita Insurance, who is the city's broker, correct? Corey?
Yes, it's our insurance broker.
He's the insurance broker he found for the facility, and actually, it's $2,000 cheaper than last year's. Last year's was $84,000, this year's is $82,000. We had a 5% deductible on wind and hail. He's got it down to 3%. So, still, it looks at overall, and if you go through the packet, the building is insured for right around $7 million. So 3% of $7 million is still what our deductible would be. I have him, and he is looking for us a deductible buy down where we could take it down to 1%. I know we've looked at that before. Cohesive did before we got the roof completed, and it wasn't super expensive, like $17,000 a year, but it takes your deductible from $200,000 to $300,000, $400,000 down to $100,000. So it pays for itself if you have a claim. Now, if you don't, you don't. But
I will second Cheryl's motion if we can call for a vote.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant.
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Does anybody have any staff or board remarks?
I just,
Actually do. City's going through their audit process currently, so we need to know where the hospital audits are at, that way, and they can communicate with our city auditors. I can't remember, because I know it's been a while since we've got an update on that.
We're still doing the 2022 audit, so we
Okay.
submitted everything to them, they're just working through it.
So we're still at 22, and then we'll be able to roll into 23 and 24, okay. So we need something to go give to our city auditors to let them know that that's in process, because they're kind of putting
Yeah.
pressure on the city for not having one of their components that far.
Yeah, we
behind.
need that like in writing in the
23
actual.
audit is coming, or that we're in process of 22?
You're-
Where you're at in 22, what
Yes.
we're waiting for, what's the milestones, what's the plan for 23 and 24.
Okay.
Because our auditors are giving us a lot of issues with it, and so we need
I
the
know we brought
information.
the 23 audit to the facility, to the board, to the engagement letter to have
Yeah.
PYE do that. So I can send you the
Yeah.
engagement letter for that, and then we can get an update from PYE to send to y'all.
Okay.
So they can tell us exactly where they're at.
Yeah,
Okay, we can do that.
perfect,
That's
thank
my
you.
only staff remark or inquiry.
Does anybody else have any remarks?
I was just gonna say one thing. On the one with the employee, had that been brought to us up front, it might have been something we could have considered, but I wouldn't even considered it at this point. And I meant to say that during that time, but I'm just gonna be honest.
Anybody have any other remarks? Okay, any new business that could not be foreseen?
Yes. So I'm gonna pass this out. This is, as y'all know, our roof got done. It's completed. But in the scope of work, we received this yesterday. This is a proposal, so let me tell you what it is. The scope of work did not, from the architect, did not include the north and the west awnings in the scope of work for the new roof. So when we got a little bit of rain, a month ago, we noticed that on the north door, along the wall and inside the building, we had some leaking. So when they came out to do just some walkthrough, we had them look at it, and they were like, well, that wasn't in the scope of work, so those awnings did not get touched. So their plan is to remove all that loose gravel, because it still has the gravel on it, didn't even have the modified bitumen, nothing.
Really?
They're gonna remove that, put that membrane up there. It's gonna be an eyesore, guys, I'm sorry. They're gonna take that membrane up the wall to go underneath that ridge cap, and that membrane is white. So you're gonna have a red brick with that membrane go up to seal that crack, so that doesn't happen. So we don't have any more leaks. Again, it's gonna be an eyesore. They've already told us it's gonna be an eyesore, but that's the only way to seal that joint between the awning and the brick wall to where it will not leak. And so this is going to be $8,500 to do both of those awnings. And this is the same company that did the roof. It's Kuntz Roofing, that's the same company that did our roof.
And it's a set price, it's not?
Yep, it's a set price, yep.
Okay.
And this is on the north.
The north and the west awnings. So the exit doors, they're, what are they, what do you put in here?
Like the exit door that would come out of what was COVID wing at one time?
Yes,
It may still be.
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And then the north doors on the patient hall, the north.
Okay, I don't know.
They're not used.
No.
But the problem is whenever it was leaking in, like, I mean, it came down from the light into the, like, going, and it was.
It was traveling under the,
yeah.
of course, along the roof. So it might go into patient rooms, we don't know.
Right.
It's gonna
So-
create damage regardless of whether
It
that
is.
area is used.
So we gotta fix it, whether it's this vendor or I bring you another vendor, we do have to fix it. It's gotta get fixed or it's just gonna continue to run things.
I would make the motion that you approve it. I mean, I don't really see where there's much option, but to.
Yeah, they know what's there.
To fix the
and what they
building.
need.
Again, I wanted y'all to know there is gonna be that
Exactly.
eyesore because that
Yeah.
white membrane is gonna come up that wall and go over the ridge cap.
And there's no way to paint it or make it aesthetically pleasing,
I was just gonna
suppose.
say, how about Barbie Stover climbs up there and they blends it in?
If y'all want us to do that, I will ask them.
And it's not a high traffic area.
It's not, again.
The
it's on
north wouldn't be, but I can't imagine
Well, the
the
west is
west
blocked
might.
by the big trees.
Okay, well
The
then
west
there
is
we
blocked
go.
by all the, now, if we cut down all the trees at the health department, yeah, you're gonna see it. But currently, you can't see it from the west side.
I would still make the motion that we approve it.
A second.
Call for a vote, please.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
No.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Oh, I was waiting for the no.
I was like,
Okay, my two no's were good no's.
they were.
No, I didn't say they weren't. I was just waiting.
I just
Since
expected
Carson got
several
his
of you
in, I
to-
was like,
I was like, why did Carson say no?
you don't want it to be looking ugly.
She didn't want Barbie up there.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
I will second that one.
Call for a vote.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you, guys.
Here's this back, 'cause I have it up there.
39 minutes? What's wrong with y'all, 39 minutes?